So I was scrolling through r/fighters the other day when I came across this post. It specifically went on about mindsets in fighting games, like the one I spoke of in my most recent video, but then went one step further. A good night of online left me back the next day to play and practice, but a bad online session will lead me to dropping the genre altogether for weeks. And something we can all relate to, we understand we're learning and getting better, but losing just really sucks. So what do you do when you just keep losing? What do you do when you keep losing to people, things, characters that you don't feel like you should be losing to? How do you keep yourself from giving up completely, and like in this post, walking away from the game or even the whole genre for weeks? As this is a feeling we can all relate to, and one I am personally very familiar with, I want to talk about my 3 steps to stop yourself from stopping. Alright, so step number 1, keep yourself tethered to multiple anchor points. Alright, big words there, Sam, what do you mean? Okay, I love fighting games, but when I say that, I don't just mean one game or even multiple games, but I love everything around it. I love the games themselves, I love watching and, heaven forbid, attending tournaments, consuming content that surrounds it, whether it's YouTube videos, articles or fan art, and even repurposing fighting games or making my own videos like this one. Even though it's incredibly important to be able to enjoy the game for its own sake, holding on to things around it will keep you a lot more invested. And this will lead us directly into step 2. Step 2. Look for a community. Just like the person who wrote this did by reaching out to Reddit. In any hobby, job, sport or whatever, there's a great importance on community. And no, not just because Core Gaming sold me on this book, it's just genuinely really important. Whether it's a huge community like on Reddit, a Discord community to your favorite game or a character in it, or even your local fighting game community. Being around like-minded individuals that have faced or are still facing the same struggles can help you in ways that you may not have thought of yourself. But what do you do when you just can't reach out or you don't want to? Well, then we come to the last step, and the one most relevant to this post. Step number 3. Reflect inwards. At the end of the day, we all know fighting games are 1v1, just you against your opponent. And while doing friendlies or running some sets against people in Discord, you can often reach out to your opponent. There are times where you can't or don't want to. Like the person writing this post, you've probably been in situations where you lost to something that made you really angry, or something you would in the moment call bullshit. So you try again and lose and try again and lose. Eventually, you might give up fighting this opponent, but you're still mad. So you keep this losing cycle going. Even when fighting opponents you think you really should have been able to beat. Several losses, rage outbursts and swear words later, you quit. It might take you a long time to come back and try again. Losing sucks. And though I can't stop you from losing, I can hopefully help you to quitting. I myself have been in this exact situation many times in many different games. I came home ill, but I wanted to play Tekken. I was high into red ranks and kept losing and getting more angry, losing and getting more angry, and after an hour or two, I had slammed shut my laptop, threw aside my stick, lost a good few ranks and felt a lot more ill than I did before. Another example, after a long exhausting day at work, I came home to play some Street Fighter. I got beaten by some players I really felt I should be able to take, got angry and went on a losing streak. The point I'm trying to make is that these different situations could have all been resolved in the same way. When I got tilted, didn't feel good or whatever, I should have walked away. I know, great advice, right? How to stop quitting, just quit earlier. But I'll try and give an example to see if it makes sense. So the goal is to, when you feel this way in a fighting game, to literally walk away. Go for a stroll or do anything else but playing a game for a while, and then, with a clear mind, reflect on what happened before you start playing again. In the Guilty Gear beta recently, I was doing really well for someone who had never played the game before. I picked up RAM, had a ton of fun, and managed to reach the 8th floor, but here I reached a roadblock. I got frustrated. I really had no clue how to deal with my opponent's pressure. I simply couldn't fathom how I could possibly fight it. So I stopped playing, went to get something to drink, and went on a small walk. And on this walk, I remembered something I'd completely forgotten. The fact that faultless defense was even a thing. So I went back home, started back up, and what do you know? Using this, I pushed these players far enough away that after a patient defense, I was able to stop them again by just pressing my own buttons. Hooray! Give yourself some time to reflect is great advice and all, but how do you stop yourself when you're tilted? How do you drag yourself away from the game before you get too far in? This is very difficult, or at least I find this to be very difficult. But there are multiple ways to have a slight safety net for this. You could set a timer that reminds you to get up and stretch after a certain amount of time, regardless of how you're feeling. I myself have noticed that I tend to drink a lot more when I'm angry or losing, so I always play with a small water bottle next to me, and I made the rule for myself that whenever it's empty, I need to get up and refill it. This little task gets me away from the game, and when I'm raging or at the point of being tilted, this can be my first step to actually walking away and giving myself some time. Whatever works for you is of course very personal, but try to give yourself some time to cool down and reflect when things get heated. And well, if you really can't stand losing at all, just, I don't know, challenge me and beat me into the ground or something. Who knows, maybe it will make you feel better. Like I said in this video, one of the ways that I enjoy fighting games myself is by making videos about them like this one. I've gotten a ton of great comments both on Reddit and YouTube in response to my latest video, and I just want to thank each and every one of you who bothered to comment, like and subscribe to me. It really means a lot. Like this video and the last, I want to make some more videos focused on gaming mindsets, but also some others on learning methods and techniques that could benefit newer players or those who feel stuck or genuinely are stuck. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe, thanks!